Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Nintendo here with another video. And this one, guys, this is something special. I feel as though I actually put a lot of work into getting to the point where I would be comfortable making this video and talking about this subject. And today's subject, if you don't know or if you didn't read the title for some reason, is Blue Protocol JP in-game. That's right, guys. I felt as though in order for me to really be able to bring you guys proper information about Blue Protocol in-game, I would have to actually experience Blue Protocol in-game. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days. I made sure to grind all the way. I made sure to get to where I needed to get so I'd be able to do this and know exactly what I'm talking about, because I don't want to be the person like a certain someone that I will not name drop who was talking about Blue Protocol in-game and didn't even have beta or alpha skills. And if you know what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying, okay? But anyways, let's get into it. So without further ado, guys, this is my character. I know he's beautiful, I know. But anyways, here we go. So starting off with in-game level, you have to be level 50 if you really want to experience in-game. On top of that, guys, right here, you see these 4 skills. I actually do not have my beta skills yet. I have not unlocked them yet. I'm currently working on getting all of my alpha skills and crafting desirable level 50 weapons. And I also want to say that Blue Protocol is not without its flaws. The end game especially definitely has one major flaw, but only one. Don't forget, this is the best game in the world. Don't forget, I stand by that. Don't forget. I will never switch sides. Blue Protocol is the best game in the world. Also, thank you devs for not banning me and allowing me to get this far in the game. I really appreciate it. Oh my God. But anyways, as you can see here, I have all of my alpha skills laid out for you. And alpha skills are really important when it comes to diversifying the combat, getting better skills, and making sure you can experience the game and your class the way you want to experience it. And I love that when it comes to Blue Protocol. And it really kind of fills up some of the things that I would say people are talking about it lacking with in-game. And we'll get into that later. But for now, as you can see, alpha skills, working on beta skills, we have all of our imagines 35, all of our battle imagines 45. We have a 1 passive subclass skill working on it. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now what in-game is not. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, over here, these 2 dungeons, this is not all in-game is. Absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. I've read that in-game is just farming for a level 50 weapon over and over and over again, and that's just not the case. In reality, in-game is farming for a level 50 weapon and then using said weapon to do certain things with your team, guild, or by yourself if you're Kirito, you know, whatever. That's what it really comes down to. And on top of that, there's also a lot of stuff that you have to do, or not have to do, but can do, and try to get the best time at. Because with Blue Protocol, it is not a competitive game when it comes to PvP. There is no PvP in the game. But because there's no PvP in the game, the most competitive thing you can do that is a part of in-game, which really is in-game, is competing for the best time. Whether that is time attack, or whether that is you going in with your guild team, etc., whatever, into a dungeon and trying to get the best time doing that dungeon. Or even if you want to solo a dungeon by yourself and seeing if you can get the best time, and, you know, maybe flexing that on Twitter like, oh, hey, I just did this dungeon in the shortest time ever. Who can beat me? There's also that, okay? That is what in-game really is all about. Besides coming over here to your adventure board, which, by the way, don't mind the fact that my adventure board isn't all the way done. I plan on using this for leveling, and I'll save that for another video. Honestly, shouldn't be talking about it. But over here, this is your talisman board, or you can call it your alpha board. And what it is you'll be getting these talismans by completing or doing certain quests, whether that is doing 30 dungeons or killing 1,000 monsters, or even collecting 100 things. As you can see, we've kind of progressed in this a little bit, and eventually it's going to get to, I believe, doing 90 dungeons, killing 12,000 monsters, and collecting 3,000 things. That is a huge part of in-game, and I would recommend making sure you have this board before you try to do anything else, because when it comes down to it, in-game, you're going to be collecting stuff, if you have anything left to collect, which you should, You're gonna be killing things, and you're gonna be doing dungeons. So getting that done while doing this is a great way to passively progress your character through endgame and pretty much do endgame, because it's a part of it. It's a huge part of it. So moving on from there, and I've already shown you this. This is really important, all of this, but this right here, guys, we're gonna make this as quick as possible and, you know, straightforward. Not here to waste anybody's time, guys. So when it really comes down to it, right? When it comes to weapons, I guess, if you guys know about weapons, if you actually played the game, if you haven't played the game, I'm gonna tell you right now, weapons consist of pretty much one thing. They're all under one thing, and that's gonna be called, or what, at least what I call it, the level tree. Now, each weapon is gonna fall under a level tree. As you can see here, let's go ahead and go to a weapon that actually has a level counterpart. So this is level 10, level 25. Okay, so this is a level 25 fire weapon. And then over here, this is a level 25 earth weapon. And then going on, I think that's it right there, right? So then we're gonna move on to the level 35 ice weapon. Then we're gonna go on to the level 35 darkness weapon. And then we're gonna go on to the level 40 light weapon. Now we're really getting into the trees here, because now here's a level 40 fire weapon, and then we have a level 40 lightning weapon, and then we have a level 40 ice weapon. Now you saw how I glossed over this weapon here. This is the in-game max level 50 weapon as of now, because 50 is the cap for everything, and getting this weapon is very important depending on your class. Now I say that because when it comes to the other tree, the 40 tree that we were talking about, level 40 tree, depending on what type of build you're going for, you're gonna actually be trying to grind for a different weapon or a different type of weapon, because they all have different stats, even though they're the same level, and they also do certain things for your stats. Now, lightning, something I've noticed is a lot of the spellcasters go for the lightning weapon because of the intelligence that helps with that. And for me personally, I went for the fire weapon. Not only because I got a 4 socket, but because it's really good when it comes to damage, and I love that for my class. I love that for my weapon. It's good. It's great. Yeah. But anyways, that is like the pretty much the only real problem with Blue Protocol's in game. I'm gonna say right now, guys, is just the fact that there isn't any other trees, and I hope you noticed that when I was there. There aren't any other level trees, or at least level tree for level 50 weapon is not complete. It is not complete, and that is a bit of a problem, because without that tree being complete, we are now missing missions that would have been here for the level 50 weapon. Say if there was a lightning level 50 weapon, there'd be 2 other dungeons for you to get the mats to do said, or to craft said weapon. Now, in a certain video that I will not name, by a certain content creator that I will not name, about endgame, they said that pretty much all Blue Protocol endgame is crafting or doing a dungeon over and over and over again, and then going over and traveling to a certain dungeon over here, which you have to be around level 49 to do efficiently. This is a dungeon you can just walk into, and pretty much killing a monster enough times to get 15 rare drops from said monster. And let me tell you this, even with liquid memory, and that's something that you use to enhance certain things, either whether that be gathering or killing, or, you know, enhance the rates of something dropping, even with all of that, guys, it's not gonna be enough. And this is the dungeon right here. As you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. You're gonna be doing a lot of farming and stuff in here when it comes to end game, right? But that's only a certain part, because I want to stress the fact that when it comes to end game, guys, it's not all about weapon crafting. That's not what it's all about. What it's really about is playing with your friends, or playing by yourself if you're Kirito. For the Kiritos out there, I know, all right, I did that myself. You know, if you really want to, it's gonna come down to doing dungeons, it's gonna come down to doing arenas, it's gonna come down to doing time attacks of different types, it's gonna come down to towers, and doing that content, whether it be by yourself, Kiritos out there, Kirito, I know you're there, I know you're listening, and or by your or with teams, you know, with people, with your friends, with your guild, and seeing what time you can get doing that. Whoever gets the best time, guys, in Blue Protocol, if you're able to do something and get the best time, you are the best, you are the greatest, because there's no PvP. So that's the most competitive thing you can do in Blue Protocol. Okay, and hopefully later on when it comes to dungeons and stuff like that, and we have more access to raids, hopefully there will be how do I say, a more of a competitive like world's first sense, you know, like of who's actually doing what and who's completing what, instead of it all just being who can do it the fastest. Because as of right now, everything is pretty much like, yeah, we got to do this the quickest, most efficient way. And in order to do that, one, you're going to need whatever weapon is best for your build, and also the highest level weapon at the time. And then you're also going to be needing to unlock alpha and beta skills. I cannot stress how important this is, guys. You need alpha and beta skills. And in order for you to even get a beta skill, guys, you're going to actually need to have the alpha skill before, and then be doing a dungeon to where you'll get the chance to learn a beta skill. Don't forget that. Very, 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 very important. Okay, I also watched a video recently where someone said that the weapon crafting was all of in-game, but at the same time, even after doing that and doing other content, the diversity of the skills that you use per class is what was the word that he used, lackluster, or that it's hard, or that you can't even really diversify your combat. That in itself sounds absolutely insane, because either you're doing one of two things. You're either a meta sheep and you're just copying and pasting whatever you see someone else doing, or you literally aren't doing anything to begin with. It's impossible to have the exact same skills as someone else all the time. And even if it is, it's possible, but at the end of the day, you don't know that. You don't know that you're doing something someone else is doing unless you're copying and pasting. So I think there's plenty of ways to diversify a skill, especially when it comes down to getting to G3. You have to be level, I believe, 39 for G3. And then once you're level 39, getting level 50 to get alpha, and then going on to get beta. That takes a lot. And I feel like having these different skills, and let me show you if you don't know, the difference between alpha, that's more damage, it goes a little bit farther, and then beta, that's more damage, but it does something else completely, as you can see. And that's pretty much the same with every single other skill. Now, of course, there could be more skills. They could have added more skills, but I think that if you take into account the fact that each skill has two different variants or versions, well, there you go, right? So I think there's plenty of ways for you to, make your combat feel like it's your own. And that's also a part of in-game. Realistically, everything you see here on this screen right here, this is all a part of in-game, whether it be your battle imagines, whether it be your enhanced imagines, everything has to do with in-game. You can craft the battle imagines for better stats. You can craft the e-imagines for better stats. You even have the subclass ability over here. This is the ability from Twin Striker that I have unlocked, and a lot of other stuff as well. And I just want to stress that if you've watched content recently and they're talking about in-game being the same thing over and over again, and all you're doing is crafting for a weapon, and that person, and somehow you see this and you don't see an A here or a B here, guys, I'm telling you right now, they do not know what they are talking about. Okay, I'm sorry to be that guy, but someone has to say it. Like, are you mad? It doesn't make sense. But besides that, guys, I don't think Blue Protocol is lacking in in-game, realistically, because if it really just comes down to what are you willing to do. Okay, and I'm going to show you right now. Oh, look, the boss monster spawned. So I go over here, and these little crowns on the map are pretty much the leaderboards. If you haven't seen the leaderboards, I'm going to show you right now and tell you what that's all about. Okay, so me personally on time attack, I'm not the best, and I've never really been good at speedrunning stuff or anything like that. And speedrunning isn't necessarily what time attack is, because it really comes down to the build that you can create using alpha and beta skills and certain plugins and your weapon in general to be able to get the best time. Why am I going there? And that is over here. And these are all over in the city. You'll be able to find these things here. And as you can see, my rank is 521. Horrible rank, just absolutely terrible. This person right here is literally, quite literally, the best Aegis fighter in the world right now when it comes to time attacks. It's just the truth. And in order to see like how many people there really are, like the grander scope of things, this is endgame. This is the most competitive part of endgame right here. And this is mainly for all the Kiritos. At the end of the day, you want to do this, you got to be a Kirito. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Like you get it, right? So that's pretty much endgame. And there's a board like that for each class. And yeah, when it really comes down to it, I don't think there's any type of lack of endgame unless you can't handle needing to craft the weapon a couple times here and there and grinding time attacks when it comes out, because it's not always out, and then also doing set dungeons and having people to do content with, then maybe I guess there's not a lot of endgame for you. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Blue Protocol doesn't have the same endgame as a lot of other games have, as a lot of other MMOs have. I feel like endgame is different for every single game. And I feel as though some people or some content that I've watched recently makes it seem as though they're trying to identify Blue Protocol's endgame as closely, or make it seem similar to something else that it's not similar to. It's a completely different game with a completely different system. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is endgame. I feel as though I can't really say anything else to kind of get my point across, guys, besides it's not just crafting a weapon. And I don't think there's really a lack of content. Although, and as I said before, if there was more weapons for the level 50 tree, there would be more dungeons, okay? There would be more dungeons. That's just the truth. There would be more dungeons. But realistically, guys, we're going to be getting an update pretty soon. It's going to give us a new class, give us new chapter content. Like, there's going to be a surge of new content, guys. The game just came out, and I just want to emphasize that Blue Protocol has endgame, and it's not a little bit of endgame. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. Like, realistically, and I'm just being honest, if you don't have a beta skill, if you don't have an alpha skill, if you don't have an alpha skill on at least one of your classes out of the 5, you're not playing in game. You haven't started in game yet. And I also want to say, okay, because I don't want to seem like I'm getting mad. I'm not getting mad. I'm not. I'm just trying to say, guys, that getting to level 50 is not something that should be grind. Like, oh my God, I have to play as hard as I can every day. I did that. I have over probably 300 hours into the game. I've done enough. I've hit level 50 and I'm not done. Of course, I'm going to grind another class afterwards and level all my other classes and max them and get A's and B's, all my stuff, you know? But at the same time, I want to say that for those of you guys who plan on playing the game or are even playing the game now and you're not level 50 yet, really try to enjoy the journey. Really try to enjoy the fact that you're playing a new game, you're playing the best game in the world, and you're working your way there. Don't stress about hitting level 50 and feel like you have to grind and feel like you have to just know life. So that's not the case. Getting to end game is a thing in its own, and the experience of getting there, you're only going to get to experience that one time, truthfully, realistically. When you start leveling your next class, it's not going to feel the same. Okay. So I just want to say that, you know, at the end of the day, take your time, enjoy the game, because it's the best game in the world, and don't worry about certain content creators making it seem like you have to like just know life the game. That's not the case. Now, something I didn't mention that I probably should have is the fact that when it comes to weapon crafting, there are a certain way to get tickets that'll kind of enhance the chances of you getting a great success with that weapon. But in order to get the tickets, you're gonna have to do gacha. Now, the reason why I didn't mention this is because it's not necessarily too relevant for those of you who do not plan on playing the JP version, because with Amazon, I don't necessarily know if we're gonna have gacha, and even if we do, I feel like there's gonna be a pity system, and they're probably gonna go about it a different way when it comes to getting those tickets for this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, these are the tickets over here. I actually have I've not used any tickets on these guys. I've not used any tickets on level 50s. I've just grinded. And here's the thing, even if you're getting the tickets from gacha, and again, this is only for JP, that doesn't mean you're not going to have to grind as much as everybody else. it doesn't. You might not have to, you might not have to grind as hard or as much because you might get the weapon you want, but realistically you're going to need to craft more than one, you know, just so you can have multiple weapons. Like me, I have 2 level 50s, and believe it or not, even though there's only 2 of them, I've crafted at least 5 of them each. You're gonna have to grind for said weapon, and even if you do get a level 50 for a socket, as you can see here, this has 11% and this has 13% with different abilities here. As you can see, different passive abilities. And then on top of that, this one is made for time attack only, and this one's made for almost all the other content. But I plan on making another weapon for a certain other content that I want to do, or when I want to focus on, and eventually I'll use this over here, like my little time attack build, or this one here, time attack, different weapon, and like the stats will change and stuff like that. So remember that's also important. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've pretty much covered everything that needs to be covered about in-game. You know, there's no lack of it. Sure, there could be more, but do you really need more when you need to do an entire adventure board? I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now. If you do not have this adventure board completely done and you have all of your beta skills, please do not say there's not enough in game, because until this board is done and you have beta skills, you are not done with in game. Therefore, you never ran out. There's still content. And imagine this board. Imagine killing 12,000 monsters on another class and then another class after that. Like, you get what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much my take on Blue Protocol in game and how there's really no lack of it. And I think it's an amazing game, and I am so thankful that I'm still able to play because I love this game so much. And yeah, you know, and that's pretty much it. I'll honestly say that's pretty much it. So that's my 2 cents. You know, take it how you will. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and sub. Check me out on Twitch at Leantendo because I'm always there. What else? That's pretty much it. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, all right, stay safe, have a good day, have a good night, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, and thank you guys so much for supporting me. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.